to Well Life with Linda Harris. How are you doing? It's hump day again. I'm here every hump day. I want to talk to you today about digestive enzymes. I have found that digestive enzymes are normally the beginning of disease or cancer. Most medical health and wellness professionals and all will agree with that, because in our digestive system is the key to other things that are happening in our body. So I wanted to, in my studies and when I was going for my degree, one of my favorite classes was the enzymes. There's so much. I could take probably 3 months and teach you guys about enzymes, but I promise I won't do that. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about enzymes and the importance of them in our bodies and what they do. Most people that come to see me, believe it or not, one of their main issues does have to do with digestive enzymes, and that's why I wanted to share that with you today. I find that enzymes are almost always a big key to digestive problems, and that actually is good because it's an easy fix if you can apply yourself to correcting that and following instructions. I was asked today at lunch by a friend, what are digestive enzymes? So enzymes are proteins that help break food down into nutrients that our body can absorb. You know, I'm going to go through the little names, but I am definitely not going to give you the definitions. If you're interested in finding out more about enzymes, Well Life is also going to be beginning classes for this beginning in September of this year. We'll be doing classes for health coach certification, and hopefully by the end of the first year we'll be able to board certify everyone who has been through our classes. But some of the enzymes, and I'm sure you hear these, you see them mentioned on labels of different nutrients and other things that you take. We have amylases, proteases, lipases, nucleases, and lactase. And these are some of the digestive enzymes that help us break down our food. So an enzyme brings our food to maturity and ripeness. So my friend, what I told her today, I said, if you can just imagine an apple or a piece of fruit that falls from the ground from the tree, maybe 2, 3, 4 days later you go pick it up, and the place that's laying on the ground, you pick it up and you see a bruised area. We may say, oh, well, that's bruised, or it's starting to rot or go bad. But actually what it is the enzyme in that food, once it hit the ground, it's the same way as if we're chewing our food. Something happened that released the enzymes in that apple or that piece of fruit. So then it began to break down, which is the natural process of enzymes in our food. So when we chew our food, when we first put our food in our mouth and we chew our food, we're breaking that down, and the enzymes begin breaking down that food in our mouth. I know you've heard me say on several shows that I've done that breaking down that chewing our food is the first phase of digestion. Most of us, you'll go to, do this for me, go to a restaurant, look around at other people at different tables and watch how they chew. Most often you're going to see chew, chew, swallow, but we should be chewing our food. All food that's chewable, we should be chewing it 15 to 20 times before we ever swallow to break that food down, and most people don't. We're in a hurry. We're always in a hurry to do things. So if you will even chew your food, it can make a huge difference in your digestion. Enzymes are the building materials of the vitamins and minerals. Sometimes there's not enough workers. Well, let me give you this example. Okay, look at construction workers. If you have construction workers, they're going to a site and they're going to do a job. So they have the materials here, which are, we'll say, the vitamins and minerals and enzymes. But sometimes the workers don't show up on a job like they're supposed to. So the materials and the things have to sit there and wait until enough workers show up to complete the job. So sometimes those enzymes go in there, they've not been broke down right, so it's kind of help you relate to it in a different way, maybe help you understand it a little bit more. But nature's plan, God's plan, the way He designed the earth, the food and everything in it, was to have this food be our medicine. It was to have enzymes that were found in raw foods to help with digestion, therefore taking some of the work off the body. Because if our body has to overwork, that's the beginning process of sickness or disease. Our body gets worn out from trying to make up for what we're supposed to be helping it with the food. So one question we may ask is, what happened to all the natural enzymes in our diet? We should have those enzymes in our diet to help us break down food. Well, one thing is, most of us are going to the grocery store, or if we go out to eat, we're not sure where their food source was, but we're buying packaged foods. Packaged foods, canned foods, different things like that the enzymes have been removed from. And the reason that process has happened during processing is because they're trying to extend the shelf life so that we can buy food and have it last for a long time. But what has happened is that has become very detrimental to our bodies because we're not getting the natural sources that we need in our diet. And so why does this information matter? Well, it matters because knowing this kind of important information is crucial to understanding why your body feels the way it does, how you develop symptoms of certain diseases or illnesses. It always seems to go back to our diet, to our digestive system. You've heard me say it before, the vagal nerve, that is from the brain to the gut. All of that is connected, and all of that has a say in what happens with our body as far as sickness and disease. One example is most people that acquire symptoms of musculoskeletal, I can't even talk today, dysfunction, such as osteoporosis, herniated disc, bursitis, leg cramps, most of them do not digest protein properly. So there's different things we need to digest so that it goes to the areas in the body that we need to. And some of us in different areas, we do not digest those properly because most often our enzymes are not there. Let me talk a little bit about a diet, and you'll hear so many things on the internet. There's this diet, and you're not supposed to eat this diet, don't eat this. Everybody has the best diet out there, they think. But in reality, there's things we need in our body to help it function properly. And our diets should consist of 45 to 50% carbohydrates. Everybody thinks that's a bad word, but carbs have a purpose in our system of what they're supposed to do. In proteins, we're supposed to have 10 to 35% proteins and 20 to 35% fats. Now, of course, we want those to be good, healthy fats, and that's something that we were going to be covering on another show, but I just kind of wanted to go over that a little bit. The carbs are the body's main source of energy. It provides fuel for the brain, for the muscles, and the vital organs. A lot of times we get this sluggish brain up here that does not want to go along with what we're trying to do, and it's because we're not getting the right nutrients to our brain. Proteins are essential for building and repairing tissue, also for making enzymes, hormones, and supporting immune function. Fats provide a source of energy that supports cell growth. It protects organs and helps with absorption of things like vitamin A, D, E, and K. So I know you feel like you're getting a science lesson today, but I want you to realize and understand the importance of our food and what it is supposed to do. I found this interesting comment, and I wanted to share it with you because it is so true of what we do. We go to a buffet. We think because we're at the buffet, we need to go several times. We need to fill our plates to the top and eat because we want to get our money's worth. But our bodies were not designed to eat that much food at one time. And the more we eat, it seems the more we want. Sometimes you're overstuffed with food, but 30 minutes later you're having things going on in your body and you think it's hunger pangs, and then you want a snack. Look, I have this problem just like everybody else, and we have to learn what our body's telling us and follow that. But this little statement is so true. It says the organs that produce our digestive enzymes are not large enough to provide all the enzymes needed to digest the average American diet. Because our average American diet is way out there, and we need to kind of pull those reins in a little bit and see if we can make our bodies healthier, function better, and have longevity in our lives. Another interesting thing I read in a book called Enzymes, The Key to Health. It's by a Dr. Loomis, who I studied some when I was going for my degree. And I thought this was very interesting. It kind of shines another light on things for you. It says most of us have a disease or degenerative process in our future. Again, that's said because of what's going on in our world as far as food. You know, nutrients are processed out of food. We have pesticides put on our food before it ever gets processed. And so there's so many things that affect us. But the little example it gave is so true too. And it says, imagine that there's an 18-wheeler down the highway coming right towards you. And you would like for somebody to warn you of the impending danger so you can move out of the way. For so long, we've had things happening with FDA approval things. I'm just using that for an example. With our food, there's things that have been known for many, many years. A lot of people I talk to now are just hearing about enzymes. But enzymes were discovered a very, very long time ago. The first one was 1800 and something, and then in the 1900s they began to do more research and discovered more of the enzymes and the importance of that. But a lot of us are not even hearing about those things. We've not heard about it. But that is my job, to educate people, to let you know what's out there so you can make healthier choices and make good decisions about your health. But unfortunately, what this statement goes on to say is, unfortunately, most medical diagnostic procedures cannot do that. They cannot let us know that something is coming down the road. They only measure the damage after the truck has hit you. That is powerful if you think about that. They can't tell you that truck's coming, but they can tell you what it did to you afterwards. We've talked about this before. You know, blood tests, they don't serve as an early warning sign when things are beginning to develop. What they do is tell us when something's already there, kind of an anatomical type thing. The same way x-rays, you know, different things. We've talked about that before when I've shared with you about thermography. And again, this gets right back to one of the reasons why I believe it's so important to do things like thermal imaging and to look at what's going on with our health ahead of time. I'm going to go to a little break right now because it's that time, and then we're going to come back, okay?
If you enjoy hand-picked strawberries, look no further than Bozeman Farms, with 4 locations this summer for your convenience. The first at Bozeman Farms on Highway 97 East, just off Cool Spring Road, a second on South Winston Avenue across from the fire station, a third by the Shell gas station on Bienvenue Road, our 4th location at Ace Hardware in Tarboro. Fresh-picked strawberries as well as Mama Jean's homemade strawberry jam. And don't forget our sweet potatoes, all available for purchase at each location. Call 252-883-6175 for any questions or directions. Bozeman Farms, from the field to your table at great prices.
We're in our 18th year of practice at the Hammer Chiropractic Center, and we've seen over 15,000 different people in the Rocky Mount area. 40% of headaches actually come from a neck problem. Many patients come in taking multiple aspirin, over-the-counter medications and such a day, and we can get you to stop doing that and actually fix the problem so the headaches don't rise anymore. A lot of people think chiropractic hurts. It does not. Most of the people come in and they feel great when they leave.
I love that commercial with Hammer Chiropractic. I believe in chiropractic, that we should use that as another tool to take care of our bodies. Getting back to what we were talking about with enzymes, it's clear that advanced technologies are not useful for things, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but finding out what's going on before. They are looking at things, most of the technologies are looking at things after the problem has occurred. So this particular doctor, Dr. Loomis, he studied many years ago, and he was looking for what can we use to be able to tell what's going on in the body ahead of time. And you know, the only thing he came up with at that point was urinalysis. You know, we go to the doctor, they check our urine. I'm not sure everything that they're checking it for, but do you know urinalysis has been used and documented for over 100 years? It does show things that your body is throwing away because there's too much of it, and it also shows what your body's holding on to because it needs that. And that's a true sign of what's going on in your body right then, and I think that's very important. He goes into doing a 24-hour urinalysis study that he does, and at some point we'll talk about that on another show. But I kind of want to go back to the thermal imaging, and I really didn't mean to do this today, but I am so passionate about thermal imaging. I probably will always mention a little bit of something about it on my show. But when I was studying this and putting my information together to do the show tonight on the enzymes, you know, I realized again how important thermal imaging is, and it's been around since 1957. Thermal imaging, I do medical thermal imaging, but thermal imaging has been around for many things. Actually, in 1957, they used it to fly over, you know, enemy areas in the war. That's when it was first used, so that they could use heat detection to see where their bomb silos and things were. You know, then it began to be used medically to check heat and cool and things like that in the body. So thermal imaging is so important. Linda Prezioso's over there waving at me. I wanted to wave at her. She's making me smile. But thermal imaging is used to find things the same way that we were talking about that we need to find before. I was actually at a luncheon today, and I had a really good, someone stood up and told a praise report about doing thermography with me. I'll have to have her on my show and let her share that with you. And I've shared other reports of that, but she was telling everyone that when we did her thermal imaging about 6 months ago, I'm believing it's about 6 months ago, that she felt perfectly fine, really, other than she was wanting to check with some heart issues. So we did a heart check on her. And as we were looking at that, I was looking through the image, or at the image that I was seeing through the camera when we were doing her chest and heart areas. And I said, look, do you mind if I do a scan of your head and your sinuses, because I'm seeing some things there that do not look right. Now, I'm not the physician that reads these. I perform the thermographies, but I can see patterns and heat and things. And I told her, I just want to do it. I'm not even going to charge you extra because I'm concerned about this and I want to make sure that we look at that. So we did, and of course, it came back and said you really need to maybe see a dentist or whatever, and I had told her you probably need to visit a dentist office and see what's going on, but she had previously been to the dental office, and they had done x-rays and didn't see anything. Well, a couple months later, she woke up in severe pain. She was having a lot of issues. I can't remember exactly what it was, what the name of what it was she had, but she was on some medication that sometimes, like 1% of the people taking that will have a thing where it will begin to break down the bone tissue and all, and that had happened in her mouth. It had created a hole in the roof of her mouth. She had to have some things done, and so she said today when she shared that she told the dentist about it, and he said, well, if you'd have done that 6 months, if you'd have come 6 months ago when she noticed that, we wouldn't have had to go through all this other stuff and you wouldn't have had to go through that pain. So she was like, that truck was coming towards her, and we were telling her about it, but because thermography, medical thermography, and some people don't understand that, sometimes they'll hesitate. I think I shared a story last week where a young lady had done a thermography, breast thermography with me. The doctor's report came back showing that there were some areas that she needed to have checked. She needed to contact her doctor and let them know about it, and she needed to follow through. And we needed to do a baseline study in 3 more months to see if it had changed in any way. So she decided to wait for her mammography at the beginning of the year, but technically her mammography was a lot longer than what she had said, and when she finally went for her mammography, they did discover something. They discovered it was breast cancer, and she is on that journey now. She has a very positive attitude, but her words to me were, I guess I just thought everything was going to be okay. And since then, she's told me every doctor's visit I go to, every nurse, every doctor, every person that I meet on this journey of taking care of myself, I tell them about your thermal imaging because you told me, the doctors that read that told me there was something there. And I guess, was afraid to believe it. But now I'm telling everyone about that. And I hear stories like this all the time. So thermal imaging is a tool. It is another tool. Again, I tell you about the tools in our toolbox. It's another tool that we can use to see how our body's doing, to check on things like that. And and know for ourselves what's going on. Know if we need to make changes. I had someone call me this afternoon about scheduling some of the appointments with Verjus, which I've talked to you about before, is our inch loss machine. It uses a green low-level laser to do that. And, most people say, well, am I going to lose weight too? Is it going to work? How many inches am I going to use? And there's an average of inches that you can lose with that. And it works. And that particular process is a permanent thing. But you can always neglect your body and not follow what you should be doing health-wise to take care of it, and it's going to come back. It's the same way I do lymphatic massage, post-surgery lymphatic massage on women all the time who have had liposuction, who have had different surgeries done. And I was thinking the other day, just about every one of those ladies that I have done, within 2 to 3 years later, they're coming back to me because they went back for more surgery. And the bottom line with that is because they were not able to make a lifestyle change. If you're going to do surgery, I'm not against it. If you want to make yourself look better and lift up skin, but do yourself a favor. Make lifestyle changes. Lifestyle changes is the key to our health, to our longevity, and to feeling better about our bodies. Then if you do the surgery to remove some of that loose skin you've got after you've done the weight, then hey, go ahead and do that if that's what you want to do and your doctor feels that that's safe for you. But making a lifestyle change is the most important thing that you'll do. While I'm here, I want to also remind you guys, I think it's been about 4 weeks ago now, I had Noelle Butler on my show. She's an artist. We shared some of her art. Tomorrow evening at the Dunn Center in Rocky Mount, Noelle is beginning her show. It's her first night. She will be there tomorrow night. I think the show will run sometime through July. But if you want to meet Noelle and you want to go and just do the whole tour of her show with her there and just have a really good time and support her, please go tomorrow. It's from 5 to 7 at the Dunn Center. I'm so excited to go myself and visit with her and the other people who will be there. And I think it's important for us to support our local artists. So I'm hoping that you will go and visit her and just tell her that Linda at Well Life sent you. I've got a few more minutes, and I wanted to talk about a little bit. Let's see, what do I want to talk about? I know what I want to talk about. I brought my Epionce cup to remind you. I'm reminding you guys every so many shows. I don't know if you can see the word Epionce up there or not, but Epionce is the new skincare line that I'm carrying. I have been using that for a while on clients. Again, as you know, I'm a researcher, and I tell you all the time, I'm never going to use on any client what I will not use on myself, whether it's thermal imaging, Verjus, certain types of skincare product or nutrients that we provide there when we're doing health and wellness coaching. I will not recommend or give to any of my clients or do on them what I will not do for myself. I'm very funny about skincare. I've used the same skincare line for many years, which I love, Osmosis, but I have added to that because I found that there were some things that I needed from another line. And so when I was introduced to Epionce, I fell in love with it. It is a good herbal, natural line of product and ingredients for your skin. It was developed by a dermatologist who is still practicing, and he wanted something that could take the place of your prescription Retin-A's and things for clients who had more sensitive skin. I've shared this with you before. When you have a long-term use of those prescription Retin-A's, it may be helping your skin initially, but I always see problems develop later on. I've been doing skincare for 28 years. But I've had wonderful feedback from all of my clients who I gave samples to of Epionce to use initially, and every one of them come in and say, I've got to have that. My skin looks wonderful. It feels wonderful. It has a glow. I don't feel like it's, dry or too oily. So there's different ingredients there's different ones depending on whether you have oily skin, aging skin, whatever. And there's myself, and now I've brought Tony, who does massage therapy, who is also going to be doing facials with us at Well Life. And we are both happy to help you with your skincare. I'm happy to help you with your health and wellness, which will include skincare, because your skin tells me so much about your body. So make sure you go on our website. Linda Harris, I'm Linda Harris at WellLifeInstitute.com. You can go up there and look at the many services that we offer, look at the health and wellness coaching that we do, information about thermography. All of that you can find on the website. Feel free to call us or text us even at 363-7721 if you want to make an appointment, if you need information, if you have questions. I appreciate all of you watching the show. I am new to this, so I hope I'm getting a little bit better for you every time I talk to you. I feel like I am. It's good for me because I enjoy teaching and educating. And I just wanted to be able to share things with other people and reach a wider audience so that we can teach more and more people, how God intended for things to be for us. I hope you enjoyed the show this evening. I look forward to speaking with you next week. I think I'm going to have a guest. Not quite sure exactly if she's going to be able to do it next week, so I'm not going to announce her name right now. But look for me next week. We will have some kind of guest, and we will be sharing some good, fun information with you. I hope you have a great evening.